Let's talk about this time. Time. Why? Think about it. Why is time feeling like it's going by faster than ever? Didn't y'all just feel like we was just freezing, or wherever you're at specifically? But if you're in the United States, in the South or in the North, you was probably freezing like like 4 or 5 months ago. But it feel like we already in the heat. We already in the summertime, in another period, in another time. So why does it feel like, or even your days when you go through things, it feels like everything just passes by? Now we gotta have a good old corresponding thing to where we can all see, we can all understand. So understand that on a higher, bigger spectrum, as a world, as a place where we're all in, we're all moving through spaces that are more dealing with or more helping us have attributes of being in mind frames longer, being in a certain train of thought, being daydreaming, feeling, being in your feelings, going through your world, your internal, eternal world that you may feel so. So you need to know your internal world is time on its own. Because you could sit there and daydream and a whole work shift went by. You'd be like, oh, well, I go by fast. That's the good way of doing it. Sometimes better for worse. And then, usually the negative, or like the way where you kind of go outside of yourself or give too much of yourself up, go too far out, is when you start conversating with people, or it was because you was working, doing something, even though when you're doing something, you're still thinking to yourself. So it's two sides to everything. We got two eyes, okay? So, but the core is, you got certain people that pass the time through conversation, through thinking about others, social media, whatever it is, that something else that happened to you, something else you took in from somewhere else, mentally, physically, emotionally, whatever. And from that, you know what I'm saying, you pretty much pass your time real quick, because it's all really just starting from everybody being able to have your own outlook, your own perception, and you being able to think the way you do. So you got a mind that you frame out things, that you see pictures in your way. So by you being the one looking at it though, like you're the one looking at all these different things you're seeing, and nobody can look at it like that but you. So everybody got their own individual. So which means if everybody got their own individual perception, observer effect, whatever, right? Observer effect, shout out to you, Uriel. Then that means you have your own internal time, because I remember, if you got your own world, you can travel, daydream forever, and then not even that much time pass, or a lot of time pass, but you felt like you was in a dream. I was gonna make it, all right, look, I ain't gonna do that. That's why sometimes you can doze off and you feel like you barely was even asleep. That's because your internal time is different than what's actually going on, which is what I'm about to get to. Time is just a concept. Time is a word. It comes from something we feel, intuition, before we can actually before we can actually sit there and actually talk about as a general consensus in a way where we're all in a kind of the same area of something. So we can, point at our point to the conversation. You know what I'm saying? We can do that, but things come from shit. Time is just a concept that we agree to as far as pinpointing whenever we wanted to consider something this, something that. So when the sun comes up, it's supposed to be a daytime or the start of the day, and we're all with our individual worlds that we all spend time in. We're all going out whenever you act, whenever you see other people, or whenever you're interacting with other people. That's a time on its own. And there's two sides to that, because you can think for others that's still outside of you, so you're still on that time while being in your own time. There's two sides to it. And then, or you can think, or you can just straight up be dealing, like straight up acting, like not even a, it's, you always doing two things at once, but it's more of the side of you're acting out. You're not looking at what you truly are thinking or feeling, you know what I'm saying, or interpreting. So in a nutshell, like, at the end of the day, time is just something that we're referring to, and we're just in a different location as a whole, as a world pool, and it's making us influence attributes that make us go in the daydream more, you know what I'm saying? But that's something that we're all doing, that we all can do. They just call it these things. Anyways, got internal time, outside time. We all just agreeing to the fact that certain time is what it is as a general consensus. And it's that general consensus started from the internal mind frames of everyone when you're retracting, trying to contain a certain way of thinking. So yeah, keep your time wisely, and remember, you're not getting away with nothing no matter how quick the time is going. Work, if you're just sitting on your ass, all that. All these things is going to eventually, you're going to go too far, because in your mind, it's not like that, because it's two different times in the mind. But yeah.